Hello.
Hello,
Look who it
hello.
is. What's up?
Oh my gosh, so good to see you guys again. This is like my favorite part of my whole week.
Likewise. Likewise. Is that Tanya? Oh, look who it is. It is. I love it. Love it. Love it. Who else do we have in here? Is that Frankie? Let's go.
How are you guys?
Oh,
Michael, are you on the road?
I am on the road, yes.
That's awesome. Still, you're gonna be driving,
Yes. Well,
talking.
this is the way I'm on the way back now. Mission is completed. So now I'm on the way back.
That's
But
exciting.
I got like an hour and a half left. How was everything in Houston today?
So good. Oh my gosh. I had like the best day. It was just like one of those days where you have the whole schedule, everything works out so perfect, and I was like satisfied with everything I did. I got to push myself creatively. A friend came into the gym and like gave me the most sweetest, warmest hug, and I'm just like it just like set
Wow.
my day on like level 10. So
Wow.
I'm doing so great. And then I
Incredible.
had another call with a client, came home, had a protein shake. I'm just like, I'm so good to go.
You're on
Life is
fire.
so good.
Yes. Love it. Tanya, how are you? What's new?
I'm doing awesome, honestly. I feel way more energetic than 3 weeks ago when I started this. I'm down to about 10 pounds already. And
Woo!
so yeah, it's been going great, honestly. So thank you guys.
Love
Yeah.
it. Incredible. Incredible.
That makes me so happy. Like I couldn't have predicted that this happens, but everybody gets that like access to energy in a different way. And it's just so
Oh
good to
yeah,
hear everyone
definitely.
else's
You don't have
support.
like that crash where you're like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well,
Oh, good.
a big part of it too is taking action, actually doing it. Because we could say all the stuff we want to, but you have to do it yourself. You have to go in. You have to put the work in and take that action. Take that thought and turn it into action. So, applaud to you as well. Um, so yeah, that's really good.
I love it. All right, you guys. Ready to get rolling? Today's topic is the art of risk. And this is going to be headed up all by Michael because it's not my topic. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I take risks here and there, but I think I'm way more calculated. I love spontaneity, but the things that Michael told me this week, I was like not prepared for. So yeah, I'm not at that level. So I'm really excited to hear what he has to say.
Love it.
I
I'm pumped to share.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear. So I will, if you guys are ready and open to it, I'm going to start us off with a short meditation on giving voice to the energy, the tension, and the intention stored in your body. So you can grab an oil if you have one. Michael, don't drive with your eyes closed. Grab an oil, rub it on your chest, rub it on your neck. However, you need to apply it and get it on you and let that do the work while you settle in. So with this little meditation, we're just going to give voice to the intention, the tension in your body, and hopefully by the end, we'll release the energy. So grab an oil, apply it. Allow the tone of your body and the tone of your voice to really emanate through this meditation. So we're just going to inhale and exhale, letting it all go, feeling where you're at. Inhale again and allow the tone of your voice to create an audible sigh as you exhale. Allow the tone of your voice to fill the space around you, no matter how loud it is. Without force, recognize the energy behind your tone and just let it rest. Inhale and exhale. You set the pace and you set the tone. Ah. Release the pressure. Inhale. And exhale. Opening your body to curiosity. What do I want to experience in the next 30 minutes within this group? Allow your inhale to open to curiosity and your exhale to release the tension. Long inhale and long exhale. When you're ready, come back up and we can begin our chat.
That was beautiful. Wow. All right. We're back. We're back. Thank you, Gemma. That was really good. I feel very in the right space right now to do this. So, okay. Can everyone hear me well? Is it good? Everything's good. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool, cool. Okay, guys. So, um, thank y'all all for coming. Tonight we're going to be talking about mental risk. So I'm going to try and stick to my notes and look at them while I'm driving, but I'll try and keep it simple here. So we're going to talk about risk and the opportunity within risk and what you can get with risk. And how it all starts in your mind, it all starts mentally, and then it moves to the action and then the outcome. So there's about 3 steps there, right? You get the initial thought of risk, and then you think about it. You take it to action. Sometimes we don't always do that, but take it to action and bring it to real life. And that's when we can see real changes in our lives. That's when we can see lots of growth. And that's when the world around us can change a lot just from our lens and the way we view things. And so starting out, I wanted to tell a little story about last week about risk and something I was doing last week that I thought I would share. So last week, I was out on a hiking trip in Washington, and it was awesome. It was incredible. The fall foliage was coming out. The colors were beautiful. I was just immersed in nature, and was with a buddy of mine. We set out on a trip to go and hike and check it out. And so one of the days we went for a hike. I mean, it was going to be a pretty good hike, about a 4,000 climb elevation, and it was awesome. And so we left for the hike, knowing that we're going to do the hike and we're going to complete it and come back. And it's just kind of like an unsaid, unspoken thing, like we're going to go finish the hike. We left for the hike a little later than usual than we were supposed to. We looked at a lot of different spots to go hike, and it ended up being like 3:30 by the time we were able to actually set foot on the trail. And it's about 4.5 mile hike up 4,000 foot elevation and then back. And on the way there, it was called Hidden Lake. So we were going to this hidden lake. So either way, we knew we were probably going to have to come back in the dark. And so we grabbed like a bag or 2 of trail mix and like a little bit of fruit, not much, granola bars. So we set out for our hike. Everything was good. It was awesome. It was a little misty, rainy. It was beautiful. And about 2 hours in, we were a little over halfway. And we're like, oh, okay. And it started to get like, wow, like it's probably going to be like a really, really dark hike back. and it was a pretty like tough hike with poles out and everything. It was awesome. And so either way, we ended up getting there around 6, and so it took a little longer than we planned. We thought we would knock it out in 2 hours. We ended up getting there closer to 6, and the sun was coming down. It was really dark. It was super foggy out. We made it to the hidden lake, and we're both super like fatigued and like hungry and tired. And so we could have turned back and walked in the dark, but it was getting really, really cold. And my buddy was like, "Well, there might be a cabin, a lookout cabin. We could sleep up here if we just keep hiking up the trail to the very tip. There's another mountain." And I was like, "No, bro. Like, let's just go back and cut our losses. Like, we've got a long hike back. Like, we need to just get moving now. Who knows what animals are out here? Like, there's bears out there, wolves, all these types of animals." And so I was like, "Let's just get back." And he's like, "Dude, I really think we should just try, because if there's a cabin, we can sleep in the cabin." And I was like, "I don't know, man. Like, we looked at all these different hikes. We looked at like probably 10 hikes before we even like set foot out here. Like, how do you know this is the right trail? We don't even have service. We can't double check." And so we're out there with no service. And he's like, "I'm just going to go check real quick." So I'm like, "Okay, do your thing." So he sets out on like a 20-minute hike up to the very tip of this mountain. And I'm just overlooking the lake. Sun's coming down. I can barely see anything. And I'm just like eating some granola. And I hear like a yelling in the distance. And he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I found it." And I can kind of hear him. It's like really faint. Um, he ended up finding the cabin. And so I pack up my stuff. And long story short, I ended up going up to the cabin. And we ended up like honestly getting saved because it was so cold and it was so foggy out. We couldn't see anything. So the hike back would have been like actually like extremely treacherous, and probably finding the trail would have been really hard. So we were able to stay in this like cabin. It was like a first come, first serve cabin where you can stay there and you can sleep. There were sleeping bags and like all the stuff we needed to stay the night, like journal entries from way back. And so either way, it was really neat. And so long story short, it was a really good learning lesson for me of like not only taking the risk and doing it, but also like committing and going a little farther, even when you're tired and fatigued. Going a little farther and putting in a little more effort goes a long, long way. And so it kind of just taught me like, hey, to be more optimistic mentally and to just like have like hope for the unknown and take adventure and take risks. And so that was just like a little story that will kind of relate to the more, nitty gritty topic of tonight. But that was like a huge, it's hard to like really explain how it was, but it was pretty crazy, that cabin being there, like totally saved us. And then the next morning we woke up and it was totally snowed over. So we ended up walking back in a blizzard essentially, which was awesome, but it was crazy. And so, point being, taking risks. And once you set out to do something, not turning back and saying, "I'm going to go all the way through with this until we turn around," always turns out to be better. Because during that hike, we very easily could have been like, "You know what? It's like, we're going up like a lot of elevation right now. Let's turn back." But we were like, "No, we're going to finish this thing. We started it. We're going to get to the top. Even though it's cold, we're tired, we don't have that much food. We're going to get to the top." And we did. And when we did, not every situation is like this, but we were rewarded. We were rewarded with a cabin and sleeping bags, and it was so cold, and we got so lucky that there was like this like cabin built for hikers on no service, just in the middle of nowhere. So that's a little story, and now we'll get into like some of the topic. So I'm gonna go pull up my notes here real quick. Gemma, if you want to like chime in and say a couple things real quick.
4,000 feet elevation for 4 miles is
Yeah, it was
so
crazy.
impressive. It's really impressive. I mean, that's just like God's hand at work, the way everything aligned for you. It's
Yeah, it was wild.
not every situation turns out that way, but you can have the hope. But you also had the commitment. Your friend had the commitment, but so like it was a coordinated effort towards
Yeah,
beautiful experience. And even if you had the slightest amount of resistance, it was the fear that the beautiful experience wouldn't work out that you had to push through in order to, and that's what made it such a cool story to tell, is because you had to push through something. You had to push through some friction of doubt in order to experience the ultimate reward of the cabin and everything working out great. Like imagine if you didn't have any doubt or fear that it wouldn't work out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so the second day on the hike back when it was snowed over and the trail was snowed over, I was having a couple doubts again. And I was like, no, like we're fine. Like it's gonna be fine. And the
Yeah.
trail was like totally snowed over and we couldn't see it. But I remember thinking like it's all gonna work out. And it always does and always did. And it was like a really good reminder because I normally am more of an optimist, but that time I was a little more like pessimist. And so it was like a really good reminder. So anyhow,
So funny.
can y'all still see me? I'm looking at my notes right now.
Yeah,
Can y'all see me?
I can see your silhouette and then like
You're
the
getting dark.
lights in the back. It's pretty dark.
That's
Yeah.
funny. I love it. Okay, we'll go into actual some learning now, but I hope that story is like cool for y'all.
Yeah. I was-
So why should we take risk, y'all? I think my personal thought is why not? Life is so short. Life is so exciting. There's so much to experience. Everything that we want in life is over a leap or a risk we have to take. So each one of you has so many passions and goals and hopes and dreams, each one of you, and you can achieve those with a leap of faith or risk. And so that's why we should take risks, because everything we want, everything we're made for is on the other side of that risk that we know we should take. And so I think everyone here should practice this, and it starts mentally. So we'll get into the mental aspect right now, and it all starts in the mind. So just like we were talking to Tanya earlier, and she is doing better now 3 weeks later, right? She could have taken what we said, or what mainly Gemma has been saying, and taken that and thought about it, kind of, okay, whatever. But she decided to take action and use that thought and bring it to life. And now she's seeing results. And so it's just like that with anything. You have these thoughts, but it all starts mentally. And so where are these thoughts coming from, right? You have to forest and you have to forge them, forge them within to find them. And once you find them, that's when the action piece comes in. And so I think with taking any big risk or goal or, dream or anything like that, tackling anything, you need to have courage to push through the thought of the fear of failure and of the unknown and the what if, right? And that's something that we all, need to work on, including myself. But I think it's huge in life in general. Just like seeing it firsthand, like literally this past week, of the first day of the hike doing it, the second day of the hike being more optimistic, like the change in the tone of everything. Like regardless, it was a great trip. That changed nothing, but that mental and the way my body actually felt, right? Like I was enjoying all of it, but I remember the second day I was much more peaceful because I was like, we're gonna figure this out, and I was. I had those thoughts in my mind that were ready to go, that were bestowed in me. And so either way, it all starts mentally. And so if you can,
So you
can you
cut
hear
out
me
for
now?
a sec. Yeah, you cut out for a second. I was like, oh no, did we lose him?
Oh no, I was getting a call. Anywho, and so it all starts with your thoughts. So I think it's so important to guard your thoughts, and you really can control your thoughts. And it's been something that I've had to work on, and I'm still working on. And I'm driving, but I'm going to read you this book. And you guys, I'm going to read you a little excerpt from this book. If you guys read or don't read, regardless, you need to get this book. So if you have a pen or paper or your phone with you right now, or you just want to type it in the comments to have it for later, you guys need to read this book. It's on mindset and mental thinking and risk and what we're talking about tonight. And it's called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And it is so good. If that's one thing you take from tonight, go buy this book and read it. It is so good. It's amazing. And so kind of dark, but I'm gonna try and read it. But um, the thought, factor, and achievement, right? And so this passage says, all that we achieve and all that we fail to achieve is a direct result of our own thoughts. So all that we achieve and all that we fail to achieve is a direct result of our own thoughts. So it all starts within. Like, you have to have positive thinking. Positive thinking brings positive results, which then will lead us to taking the actual action, or planning and then taking action. And so I think this is so important to guard your thoughts, right? When you have those negative thoughts, push them away and say, no, I have the courage. I'm going to push through. I know it's going to work out. And just having that optimism in life translates to everything. And so I would definitely recommend y'all to take advantage of good thoughts and pushing out bad thoughts, because you can replace bad thoughts with good thoughts. It's very possible. I don't know why there's like this misconception that you can't control it, but thoughts come and go. Totally. You can't control that, but you can control what you keep around, and you can totally reject those negative thoughts and replace them with good thoughts, just like good thoughts can be easily replaced with negative thoughts. Okay, moving forward to planning. Now, when you get these thoughts, you have to take action, but in order to take action the right way, you need to mentally prepare. So even like as simple as like preparing for your day the night before, something I started doing even this past week a little more than I normally do. I normally take my journal and I'll plan out my day the night before. Normally, if I'm good, I'm not always that prepared. And so, can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Took my headphones out. Something that I would recommend doing that I've been doing is taking your thoughts and planning out your day or your goal or your risk that you're going to take, right? So if there's something you know in your mind and you're like, hey, I need to take this risk, I need to do it. Once you have the thought, that's great. And you push down the negative thoughts and you rise up the positive ones. And then you say, okay, now it's time to do a rough draft estimate in my head of what it's going to be like. So you start planning, right? Even if it's as simple as like, how am I going to go through with this? You have one goal, you break it down in your head, however that looks like, whether it's a money goal or a time goal, or like, it could be a job goal, a friend goal, a relationship goal, a spiritual goal, it could be anything. You kind of break it down and make it simple in your head and really just like think about it. I was on the plane the other day. I had a lot of time to think, and it was awesome because I just mentally prepared. I did a whole overview of one of my goals this month, and I did, okay, now I break it down. I broke it down in three pieces, and it made it so like clear, and there was so much clarity just for like getting onto my phone and thinking on that plane ride. And so planning mentally is huge, which makes taking action so much easier, which is the third piece, and that's actually taking action, right? When you take action, that's when all of everything that you've been doing internally gets to be put out in real life. That's when your heart becomes shown. That's when your thoughts come to life. And it's a beautiful thing because every great idea came from someone's head and was put out in real life. And that's what made it so awesome. And so it changed lives, changed the world, however. So in order to take action,
Michael, can you put your headphones
okay, and
back on?
so actually taking the action,
Hey,
right?
Michael.
What this will do when you start mentally thinking of things and doing it without hesitation and boldly doing it, you'll start to gain confidence in yourself, which will seep out to other areas of your life. Everything you do in your life will reflect in every other area. So even if it's simple, like procrastinating doing something, if you procrastinate little things, like doing the dishes or cleaning something, that seeps into other things. So just like taking action, bold action, confident action, right? It could be something as small as saying, hey, I'm going to work out tomorrow. And then you think about lifting weights in your head or running 2 miles or however much. You think about it that night before or that morning, you think, I'm literally going to do this. And then you go do it, and it's like, whoa, I just did that. I said I was going to do it, and I did it. So you not only build confidence in yourself, but you're also you're like rewiring your brain almost. And that right there is huge because the more times you do that, you trust yourself and you start to take your thoughts seriously and really take advantage of the subconscious. So that's a really cool benefit of taking action. But
Yeah.
another thing when you are
Powerful.
taking action that I wanted to note down, I wrote this down for execution, is like doing it with love and ease and like doing it with simplicity. Like it doesn't have to be like this like head down mentality of like shoving everyone in the way, like elbowing others to the front of the line. Like there's a way to do this with love, with simplicity, and like you can help other people on your way to your risk or to your goal. And actually, more times than not, it's better to do your goals or do your big visions or accomplish goals with other people, with a team. And so I think there's like a huge misconception that it's me, but it's really backwards. And you'll find a lot more satisfaction and gratitude and simplicity and love, and energy, and just all these good feelings of joy, peace when you start to realize others are important in that aspect too. Um, are you want to say something, Gemma? You look
No,
like you
I'm
want to say
actually just
something.
typing something in the chat, but operating as a complete organism, it's like an ecosystem. If we want to do things at a high level, we need everything around us to be in accordance with that big vision, and willing to take rapid, complete risk-like action, um, knowing that the opposite of not working together in this manner, that's like a complete organism or ecosystem, could cause us all to fail, could cause us all to die. You know, like if we don't work together, the product of this, or if we don't learn together, any of these options could cause us absolute detriment. The cost could be anything you label it to be, but working together allows us to synergistically spiral upwards. It's like the way a tree grows is not without air, it's not without sunlight, it's not without human beings. It just wouldn't work. And it's all necessary part of a system that needs, it's taking a risk by reaching for sunlight, but it knows that if I take this risk, I might actually succeed and grow into a beautiful tree. So. Michael, I feel like he's super gone. I can't hear
Okay, can you
you.
still hear me?
Right now, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if you can.
Yes. No, we cannot. Oh no. I want to, if he can't come back, I want to hear from everybody what your guys' points of risk taking has been in the past week or in recently or that you're looking to take in the future. I want to hear like 1 minute from everybody of what's a risk that you guys have been approaching in your life.
I mean, I can say something if no one's comfortable enough sharing, but you know how they would always say, put your mind to it and you will be able to do great things. And it's just like, how can I put a mind on something that I don't know how it's gonna turn out to be? And maybe it's not even gonna turn out to be the way I visioned it, which means you're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna be like, I'm never doing this again. This is a waste of my time, like this is useless. And so, what I have been doing every single day for myself, when your thoughts are scattered, right? You have a lot of tasks. Personally, as a married woman, like you have to maintain a house that's clean. Obviously, you want a clean house, not a cluttered house. And you have to make sure you're making food that is nutritious, not just crap. And you have to take care of your health. You have to take care of the health of your husband. You have to take care of a lot of things. You have to go to work, and then you have to somewhat look appealing to your husband or to everyone around. And it's so difficult sometimes to just have a great mindset because you have so many tasks that you need to do. You're always loaded with something. And so what I have been doing is no matter what, raining, snowing, I don't care if it's sunny, I'm going outside, I'm gonna walk, and I'm not gonna think about anything. Or I turn on my most exciting part is turning on worship music. I sing at my church in a group, and I kind of quit them for a couple of months now because I'm in charge of our coffee shop in our church, and it's a big responsibility. And so to declutter my mindset,
Go for a walk.
I had to focus on something. So I
Yeah.
had to give up something, but that doesn't mean I can't do it on my personal time. And so what I do now when I go on those walks every single day, and I try to post it because in the Slavic community, when you focus on yourself and on your health, it's like selfish. And it's crazy how it like became when you start posting these things like, oh, what a great day, look at the sunset. People are like, what are you trying to do? Like, what is all this for? Like, why are you acting like some weird meditative person or whatever it is, like you just need to go to church, you just need to believe, and that's it. You don't
Yeah.
have to do anything else. And so personally for me, I'm like, no, I am going to focus on myself. The reason why I do so is because if my mind is clear, everything around me is in place. Everything around me is thriving, it's blooming, and so my relationship with my husband obviously got better because I don't have all these cluttered thoughts in the head that never got resolved, whether it's a task or whatever it is, and so it's been great just taking your time to, again, take that risk to
You're going against the mold, I think. I think that's the risk.
yeah,
It's
for
the it's
sure, yeah,
it's a
and
risk
so,
a
yeah,
risk against society where your comfort is. We were talking about the organism that works together. What you know as comfort and safety is that church group or the religious circle that gives you that comfort and safety. But you know that the next level of that is whatever they're doing is not it. So you need to get out of that. So that is risk taking. It's huge risk. It's something my family got out of a long, long time ago. And I know that entire story of everybody talking crap about you that you're trying to be healthy. I know exactly what that's like.
yeah,
So,
and it sucks because those people are unhealthy and they know it. And when you're sharing with them that, hey, this
yeah,
is going to transform your life, and then they're like, no, I don't know, I just don't want to do it. Like, okay, well, are you not willing to take the risk because you're going to be disappointed? Because you're scared that you're not going to stick to it? Because personally, I feel like I've been living in that myself for a long time because I'm like, okay, I'm going to start going to the gym, and I did for like 2 years and I was doing great, but everyone around, oh, a gym rat, you have nothing else to do. All you do is, just focus on yourself or how you look or whatever it is. And it's a lot of pressure because you don't want anyone to talk anything terrible about you. But personally, for me, you have to take that risk to be happy, honestly.
love that.
Just take care of yourself, of your body, and everything else will just flow for the better. And I just really encourage all of you guys, just take it. Don't be like, oh, I'll start tomorrow. I'm going to start right now. And that is exactly what I did for myself. And no matter how lazy or unwilling I am, I still get up and I go on that walk. I go make myself that meal. I go have an open conversation with someone who maybe hurt me. Like you have to take the risk to be happy because it's totally worth it in the end.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for that. I love it.
That was really cool.
It was
I
really,
really resonated with that, Tatiana. That was awesome.
yeah, yeah, I loved it. Frankie, do you have a risk that you're taking recently or looking
Um,
to take?
there. Can you guys hear me?
Mhm.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. Um, one thing that I've been doing is setting boundaries with people. A lot of my life I was raised in a home, at least on my dad's side of the family, where it was difficult to express my needs and put up boundaries. And so I'd find myself putting myself in jeopardy and putting myself second instead of first. And kind of like what you were just talking about, Tatiana, is just taking that time to be a little bit selfish, right? Spend that time in the gym, working on yourself, not caring what other people think, doing it because not because it's easy, but because it's hard, and doing it when you don't feel like it. And I kind of uh, took that into my life, thinking about putting up boundaries with people. So in a situation where I don't necessarily feel like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, I'll let this one slide, right? But you're not being true to yourself when you do that. And that was a big lesson I just learned through hearing that from you, was just that it's important to take that risk. In my life, I view it more as a risk because it's scary for me to put up boundaries with people. I was, a big people pleaser growing up. So just taking that risk and being okay with other people maybe not accepting you the same because you put up boundaries with them, right? So that's what I got out of that, and that's something I'm going to start implementing a little bit more of,
Yeah,
is
that's
boundaries.
so good because it sets you up you're building your fortress. Both of the things that you guys iterated just now is you're building the fortress of your life, of your own heart, of your mind, of your body. And that sets you up to take magnificent, epic risks in the future because you know you're secure, because you know nobody's going to be leeching off of you, nobody's going to be stealing your time, like any of these things. It's a risk against the comfort and safety that you're in right now by saying yes to whatever everybody else wants. But that steals your individuality. It
Yeah.
steals from you who you are. And the beauty of actually being selfish in a really open-hearted, loving way, where you're thinking about your life, your children's life, and 7 generations into the future, is I'm defending who I am right now so that that can be possible. And both of what you guys just said with taking care of your health and taking care of your emotional body and relational body, you're building 7 generations into the future with your selfishness, like quote unquote selfishness, because it's not really that, but it's what the world perceives it as. Yeah. So
Yeah, 100%.
it's so cool. I love to hear that. I have time for one more person to say what they're taking a risk on. And I really want to hear Kaylin's or Maddie's. I don't know if they can hear. Oh, Maddie. Let us hear. Maddie, you just took yourself off mute.
Yeah, it's all Maddie. She's got this one.
Carolyn, I think it's your turn because I don't hear Maddie.
Okay. She asked for it. Oh, wait. She said 1 second. Maybe she's getting herself on mute. She's like, I can't figure it out. She's texting me. Okay, I'll have her go. Give her 1 second. Well, I'll be quick. Um, One risk I took. Okay, so guys, jobs offer stability, right? But when the job you're in isn't providing, giving you the room to be the person you need to be and you want to be for your family, for your people around you, and like the future goals that you want to like reach, it's not worth it. Like, um,
Don't waste your time.
yeah, even if it doesn't like, even if you don't have the stability afterwards that like you desperately need or desperately want, like you want that extra like room, like it's not worth staying in a position where you become a person you don't want to be or that you pushed yourself to get out of and it like forces you to be that person. It's different if it like challenges you to be a better person versus essentially like pushes you to like it makes your personality that. But anyways, point being, I just quit my job because, well, I put my 2 weeks in, and after I put my 2 weeks in, I was like, I could go back to this. I'm like, this is easy. I'm like, because I got comfortable. When you're comfortable, it's easy, and that's where people don't grow. If that's my rule is, once I get comfortable, I know I need to change. I know I need to do something different. Like I'm not growing. So I realized I was like getting really comfortable this past week. I'm like, okay, I could just stay here. I'm like, I think I'm just gonna be like, hey, I'm kind of hoping I could just keep staying here. But like I realized over and over again, like literally when my thoughts are going through my head like that, I stop them. I'm like, okay, wait, no, that's not where I want to be. Like stick to who you are, stick to who you want to be. So
Stick to the plan, stick to the risk. I love it.
Hey, can you hear me?
It kicked off in 2 seconds. Maddie, I so badly want to hear what your risk
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Hold on.